Hello, lovelies, and meet Mara. This is my middle daughter, Mara, and she is the one who helped me write the entire Relic of Time Wars series, all 1.3 million words.
How many books is we're up to into again?
That's what we're up to now. 1.3 million words. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've been chatting for a while. Hello, RC. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Shannon. Yes, thank you for making friends with the like button. It always helps the algorithm. Hello, Michael. Welcome to my book launch. Michael has Friday streams with sprinting and very, very, very confusing riddles. Shannon is saying hello. Yes, hello. Shannon also does regular streams. If you follow her channel, she has all the productivity in the morning. Good morning, cool gamer. How are you today? Hello, Angela. Ye stream hoppers unite. Hello, Easy Graphic. Hiya, hiya, hiya. You and the throwing the books. Got to give you the mom face. For Sarah, Angela says you have a very cute dinosaur mug.
Oh, thank you. I also have this one, which I bought for my husband and I for Christmas. I've got 2 dinosaur mugs.
Yeah, definitely my mini me with 2 mugs of coffee on the shelf.
I'm gonna go back to my first one.
Yes. So let me share the cover. So this is the cover we ended up picking for Relic of Time and Prophecies. And the whole series, all the books are going to be like 70 to 80,000 words, maybe right in that range. I think the longest one is book 5 is like 90,000 words.
Yeah, because that one took me 2 extra days to read through.
Yeah, it's the longer one. Hello, Melissa. Welcome. Yes, thank you. And we're doing this thing with the cover image because this was the. No, let me make myself bigger. Hold on. La, la, la. Go back to there. So this was the original cover image that we had picked. It's this giant like space screen image. And we went to the other image because it's on multiple planets. But what we're going to do is, as the books progress, we're going to be able to slide the image over so that when the books are sitting on the shelf, you're actually going to get part of the space image on the spines of the books as they're lined up together on the shelf. So that was the whole reason for picking this cover. Is because as I slide the image over, you're going to be able to see more and more of the double nebula. Okay, let me see if I can pull up the full image that I said present. Wait, hold on a second. I need to find the image. Why don't you tell them about how we started writing this book?
So it originally started with so it was shortly after Mom had her stroke, and so it started with a YouTube series that we were watching with a couple of the guys I know. Cyanide Epic, he's got a Twitch channel you can follow, but it was a dinosaur YouTube series, and it was these 2 guys basically going through and like figuring out how to make dinosaurs on like this like deserted island with like something following them. And so my mom got the idea to start writing because that would help with her language and also with grammar. Language is difficult. English is like the worst. So it's definitely like a good way to start like rebuilding that skill is just going through and like writing because it helps with everything. And so, yeah, we started doing that. Mom started writing bits and pieces, and then how many years later has it been?
Well, we started writing it
It was like the next year. It was the year after your
2016, so
stroke.
it was the year after my stroke because
Right.
I was having so many struggles with language, and sadly, the YouTubers doing the play along, they were using Minecraft as an animation engine, and they had a creative difference thing, and they separated. They were no longer together, but we're I'm still in contact with some of them, still kind of friends with some of them, and they said we could still go ahead and use the series, use the books we had started writing, but to sorry,
Coffee break.
but that we needed to take the names of their characters and the references out. So we did this complete. Basically, we took a what was basically about 200,000 words, and we completely rebuilt the series. And excuse me a moment. Stop, lay down.
The
Agent
Chihuahuas?
Agent Mayhem. It's
Oh,
Agent Mayhem.
big boy.
He's grumpy. He's grumpy boy. So hello, Miss Page. Yes, thank you, thank you. And so that's what we did. I started rewriting. Sarah had gone from junior high into high school, and by the time she graduated from high school, we had the entire Huntsman quartet done, and the Relic of Time and Shadows War completely laid out, and we had it divided into like 5 or 6 books. And the problem is the 5 or 6 books were each almost 200,000 words or more. Than they were huge. So I began going through and splitting all the series into more manageable series size, because while I like big books and I cannot lie, most people prefer something about that thick.
That is terrible.
Yeah, they like skinny girls and skinny books.
Most people cannot read Agon in 4 days, Mom. Was that the name of the book? The dragon book that was like that big?
Yeah,
Super thick?
yeah. So, yeah, that became this huge universe. We have a 50,000 word world build and character profile document that goes with everything that's not counted in our word count. So we've had to do so much just writing, and I, because I was relearning language after my stroke. Um, um, I would leave out words. I would repeat words. I would write sentences, and they look like word Escher. And Sarah here, poor thing, she had to figure out what I was trying to say, because I could not make what I was trying to say come out my fingertips. And the first 3 years, were just, well, how bad was it, Sarah?
Uh, well, it was good because it was in all basically like college level like English class already, so it wasn't too bad. There was a lot of like, at least like I would like do my homework, or I'd be like, oh, I need to do this, and not and edit and then not do my homework and then do it like the next morning. Because it was a lot of time. But I mean, anything to do that wasn't my homework was always better than homework.
Yeah. So, um, sorry. Of course, Life on the farm means that one of the felines has found their way into my lap. So Princess Peach says hello. And oh goodness, I don't know where to go next with this. It's really amazed me how big this series has gotten, and yeah, Miss Page says, "What a fun way to do self-therapy through the recovery, though. Beautiful that you worked through it together." Yeah, it was very hard after my stroke because, the girls were used to me running the farm and doing all the cooking and doing all of these things, and suddenly I couldn't get out of bed without help. I couldn't express what I was trying to say, and it took years, and I still have some very, very bad days.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, I grew up really fast in that area because it's like we had to take on like a lot of the farm work and everything, and I'm kind of glad for it now. I've got a really good work ethic now. It really helps for where I work, but it does make me miss the farm more. I do definitely miss home.
Yeah. You stop laughing. Peach is so spoiled.
I'm not laughing at Peach. I'm laughing at what Peach is doing.
Yes. So we have these 4 main characters in the book, and hi, yes, I love you too.
This is one of her greedy days.
Oh no, she has gotten to where she's like this almost every day.
Oh no.
Now that Ashley's gone dog sitting, Ashley is Mara's older sister.
Yeah.
Now that she's gone dog sitting, Peach and Moo and Shiley have the war for the lap. That we have 3 main characters, or 5 main characters technically, because we have Karstien and Damien, who are the twins semi-immortals that are born from the house of Adamos. And if you saw the video yesterday that I did for the promo, what I did in that video was I actually read one of the prophecies, and the prophecy the prophecy that is behind the entire book series is, if a son of Adamos should fall from the light into shadow, war will come. It will cost his father his heart thrice. Once he will lose his heart that beats, once he will lose his heart that breathes, once he will lose his heart of light to gain what is needed to help the war oracle seal the gate of the realms forever. For if they fail, all life, all love, all light will be devoured. And that is the big prophecy that runs behind the entire series. The prophecy that runs behind these 2 books is one that Damien found after he had the seed of shadow basically planted in his heart to start turning him toward dark magic instead of light magic. Was a son will be born to the light. He will take his father's heart. He will rule for 1,000 years. And it's a very interesting thing because the prophecies because they're written in the very, very old temple language of the ancient Aetherians, the words have different meanings. And there's this scene where when Damien finds the prophecy and he's reading it, the word take is a very archaic word. And he goes back and forth with what exactly does this mean? Is it literally take? Is it
a figurative?
is it figurative? Does, should he act as his father's heart or something? And so, yeah, Damien pretty much, he asks his shadows what it means, and he then pretty much decides to take the darkest meaning of that to achieve his destiny and overcome his twin brother.
I would say the shadows definitely influenced him to take that, because Damien, like, before the shadows, like, wasn't nearly that dark. It was really once I'm trying to remember what's in what books. So I don't spill anything. Lady
Lady
Collie.
Collie of the
Okay.
House of Loki Belru.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to spoil anything. Yeah, Lady Collie is really where Damon's darkness really just got started, and so I wouldn't blame it on Damien being necessarily a bad person, because is it the second book that goes through his lives?
The second book goes through his life. The storylines run. You have two sets of people moving through time, and our graduates, our paleontologists, Davin and Ezra, are moving back and forth through time, while Karstien and Damien are just
You're
moving
just going
forward through
linear.
time.
Yeah.
And there comes a place where there comes a place where Damien, the Etherians have this sleep sarcophagus technology, healing technology, that they can like go into these sleep sarcophagus and it seals them. It's very similar to like what they had in the old Stargate series, where they would the aliens would go, the whatever they were called, would go in the sarcophagus and heal themselves. It's very similar to that. And Damien wakes up, and from circumstances, he no longer remembers who he is, and he doesn't remember the shadows or dark magic. And he lives several lives as actually, sorry, let me mute that, as actually a very decent person, and a general, and a father and a husband. And he lives these lives as a good person. And later in the series, hello Eva, our physicist, Dr. Daisy Kane, she confronts him. She's like, you were a good person, you were a good general, why go back to being this evil, manipulative, conquering type? And Damien's answer is basically, I lived my brother's life, and it was hard work, and I was betrayed, and it just wasn't worth it. And she's just like, really, it's just, love is worth it. And Damien, just after losing his wife and his daughter, and then a couple of other people that he was in love with, he lost like 3 great loves, and then he was like, I'm done. The grief is too bad. I can't endure this. And that's another thing that we deal with in the first book is Karstien, who is the light brother.
Dealing with the loss of
You
Lady
see
Tupa.
him struggle with immortality. Sucks. This stuff with Karstien and immortality sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Immortality, I don't know. It's like people are like, oh, like what superpower do you want? Immortality is like the worst one overall. Just, it's terrible. That would be the worst one, because everybody you've ever known just dies and you keep going.
So we start the book off, and the thing is the prologue for the book is so far is like 20,000 years from modern times. It's way in the past. And you see Karstien and Damien's grandfather and his concern, and then you have this jump forward and you see Davin's birth. And actually, this is when you begin to realize that what Adamos says about those who control time control destiny, that time is not set and the war could still be lost. And so and they have to be very, very careful, because there's places later in the series where time has been tampered with and it screws everything up. And Davin, he and his best friend Ezra grow up together. The first time they meet, they get in a fist fight as to what are the dinosaurs that they fight over? Triceratops and
it's an ankylosaurus
and Triceratops. Yeah.
Triceratops. Yep.
Yeah, and their teachers think that they're like yelling racial slurs at each other, because Ezra's father is a soldier, and Davin is Asian, and he is Korean and El Salvadoran. And so Ezra is calls him a slant eye lover, and Davin calls him a flat top lover. But the reason is
it's not that they're like actually making racial slurs. It's the fact they're talking about these dinosaurs, but they're young. They don't understand, like, hey, these could have other meanings, because they're like, what, 5 or 6?
They're 8 at the time.
Oh, they're 8, yeah.
Yeah, they got in a fist
they're
fight
really
at the Museum of Natural History, and it's like, why are you fighting with this boy? And he's like, well, Triceratops do have slant eyes, and Ankies do have flat heads. And
they were like, oh.
The mothers are like, were you fighting about dinosaurs? Miss Page says, I love it. You build the world, then screw it up, then agonize with them. Being an author is so cool. Yeah, yeah.
That's they go back to early to the destroyed future. Ooh.
Yeah, the traveler's prophecy. Let me see if I can find the traveler's prophecy. Eva says, tell us something hilarious about your mom.
So my obviously mom has got a couple like short-term memory issues. There will always be one thing she will forever hold over me. And I was in 8th grade. I was studying for finals, and I chucked a potato into a microwave, put it on for the potato setting, and I went back to my room. No issue. I started smelling something a couple minutes later. I didn't think about it. And then I hear screaming, trampling through the house. I had my door shut, so I didn't know. And so I hear screaming and trampling through the house. I have this idea of what is actually going on. I go and look, and there's something in a bowl, flaming and charred. Well, it's half flaming, half charred, and I'm sitting there like, what is that? And Mom is like, I think it's a potato. And I was like, that might have been my potato. I just stuck in there. And she's like, whipped around. She's like, how long did you put it for? I was like, the potato setting. And she was just like, it's supposed to be for like a 1 pound potato, not an egg sized potato. And I was like, oh.
We discovered that you can make lava from potatoes.
Yeah. It was not good. The entire house smelled like smoke for a couple days.
It was the worst smell. I couldn't imagine that a charcoal potato would smell so bad, but it did. It smelled so awful.
Yeah, and I know it was really sad to you. As another thing was, I know it was really sad to you, but whenever there's like it was like my sophomore year, my junior and not my junior, my sophomore and freshman year, I wanted to start dyeing my hair. My mom was like, cool, we'll do it. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. And so, like, I dyed, like, this top chunk of my hair different colors. And the thing is like, every now and then, I would be, like, doing dishes, or I'd be doing something in the kitchen. Mom would walk out of her bedroom, look at me wide-eyed, and then go, oh, so that's what we did yesterday. And it was like, yeah. We did this for, like, 4 hours.
Yeah, she would change her hair every 2 or 3 weeks, and
It was like
unfortunately,
every month or so.
it
It
was
was
like a
not.
month or so. But with my short-term memory issues, I wouldn't remember that she had changed her hair, and I would walk out expecting blue hair, and her hair's purple this week, and I'm like,
Yep.
okay, that's a thing.
Or like it was like a purple pink last week, and then like 2 weeks later, it's like a dark green.
Yeah, we did mermaid hair, and we did unicorn hair, and we
No, it
did
was supposed to be space hair, and then I went to Tennessee for Destination Imagination, and the pools and everything. My hair came back bright, like cotton candy pink and like lavender.
yeah. That's right. That's right. We had
Yeah,
done darker. We had done the
they were
nebula colors,
super dark.
and then the pool ate the colors.
We just
Yeah.
redyed it. It was fine. It was
Yeah,
great.
that's one of the issues with memory problems that most people don't realize is that I found a workaround, and that's I write everything down because I'm a journal keeper. So I kept writing things down, and that's how I store my memories now. Is I store my memories in my rote memory center, because my experience memory center in my brain, two different parts of your brain, does not retain things anymore. And so I have to write things out. Like I wrote out about Sarah's graduation,
Which one?
um, that everyone loved her salutatorian speech better than the valedictorian speech.
And it was funny because by the time like final grades had lapsed and everything, I actually was supposed to be valedictorian.
Yeah, and it was like 0.02.
What's the first story you remember her writing or talking about, if any? Um, so really it was like basically it was the dinosaur book was like the first thing because I was like because they had ended the series. I was like, I don't know where else this is gonna go. Like I want this to keep going. And then mom kind of made it into a world of itself. We had this other character we implemented, Karstien having a father, and then was like that was when it was really starting to like grow on its own. If I'm gonna kind of go a little off the question. One story I remember my mom still talks about to this day because it's always sitting in the back of your head. The gargoyles. You
The
need the gargoyles is one thing you've always said. Like the last like 4, 5 years, gargoyles.
Yeah, I love
Entire time.
gargoyles. The gargoyle shifters. Sarah and we actually wrote Warforms was the first story that we had the gargoyles in.
Yep.
And that was the one of the first stories I wrote after my speech therapist said, start writing your stories out. But yeah, the one thing that I remember about the origin of the whole series was Cy did that music parody of Centuries.
And that's literally
And the little boy running through the park with the iron golem, there was never an explanation to who this child was. And Sarah was obsessed with this little boy and the giant golem trying to run away from the Dark Prince.
But I always wanted a little brother, so I mean it made sense.
You did. You wanted a little brother so bad you tried to trade your sister to the lady next door.
Why would I do that? I wasn't like 3 or something.
The lady next door to us in the maternity ward had twin sons. And Sarah actually went into her room and asked her if she would trade.
It's a fair trade, I'm just saying.
Let's see. Okay, I've got to catch up on the chat. I'm so far behind. Chlorine does
color.
that. Yeah.
I mean, at least the color was pretty okay.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, living with memory issues. Yeah, day to day. The color thing was thing. I feel so bad because like I forget birthdays and holidays, and if I don't make extensive notes, like with Sarah's graduation, and Ashley's graduation and Bunny's graduation, I don't remember them. I don't.
Yeah.
Is your long-term memory better? No, not really.
So
I'm
it's
up
like
to the point at 3 to 5 days out of 10 now, where it used to be I would not remember anything for months. The first year and a half after my stroke, I had a card stuck by my bed that literally I'd wake up, the very first thing I would see was this card that said, "You had a stroke on April 28th, 2015. You no longer work for the post office. You have memory issues, vertigo, dizziness, headaches, right side weakness. Be careful." And that literally was and then I had one of my handy dandy journals right by the bed, and I could go through and read the previous days. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, 51st Dates is a funny movie, but living that is not fun. Have you thought about writing a nonfiction book?
you should do that. You should do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just so like at least like I watch a lot of TikTok. I am guilty of that. I watch it myself. Buy easy graphics. But I watch a lot of it. I watch a lot of TikTok, and what I've seen that in other countries, the healthcare is so much better. And maybe you should write it. Just show like your struggle with a neurologist, because I know, at least from my experience, and having uh, being in a pretty bad car wreck and where I started getting migraines, neurologists are definitely like the worst to work with.
Thank you, Paige.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed the book. There's 14 more to come. I still have
There's
to
a
finish
lot more.
writing book 13, though. I still have to go back and write The Shadow Hunt. But yeah, we.
Did I email you about that while I was like underway? I was like, "Hey, can I get this book sent to me?" And you're like,
I only have half of that one written.
"It's not even written yet. What are you talking about?"
I have the one after that one written. Do you want the one after
Yeah,
that?
you do. That's why I was like, "Come on."
Okay, we have another question. Eva asked, did we already ask this? What was it like to have an author mom? Do any of your friends write? I never knew adult authors as a child.
So it was. I mean, so I didn't know any of my friends whose parents were authors, as far as I can tell. I had an English teacher who she had her books. She had a couple of her books, and she would set, and we would get to read like bits and pieces of those, or she would read them to us. Just like say we finished finals early, or we had her class scheduled, so we would like she would sit and read to us. So I only ever knew like one other like adult writer, like, but it was just kind of unique because my friends would be like, "Oh, so what's your mom writing today?" or like, "What is she posting?" And especially a lot of the people in my college classes that I took as a junior and senior, they were all really like interested in what my mom wrote. Especially like I know it's the wrong series, but the Pagosa Cliff series. A lot of my friends loved that series.
Yeah. Shannon asked, when do you think the next book in the series will publish? Right now, the plan is to hit the books every 10 to 12 weeks. So this book is going up now. The next book will be going up in at the end of March. So that's what we're looking at. I actually reach up here and just do this now. So see my little postie off of my Kanban board.
I've seen that board. There's a lot of sticky notes on there.
2 years worth of publishing, 2.5 years worth of publishing. And look, woo, no more sticky. So one book down, so many more books to go. But the next book is War of Prophecies, where all of these different prophecies that I talked about today, the two travelers, which I still need to read that. I need to read that prophecy.
Yeah. Those English teachers, their own sort of magic. Absolutely. Like, there was a lot of places.
Oh, go ahead.
So there was a lot of places, at least, like, a lot of people I knew who they would write, like, it was like I was reading, like, a seventh grade writing in a college class. And I was like, oh, Lord. And it made me really grateful for my English teacher because I had been writing, like, proper papers forever at that point. I had been writing proper papers for 3 years almost.
Well, you had the thing is though is you had Miss Sargent when you were in 8th grade.
No, I am a sergeant in 6th grade.
6th grade, yeah, and that's
I
when she
started at
started.
6th grade and had her all the way up.
That's when she started teaching you guys about writing proper citations and all of that stuff into papers and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Sorry,
we
I'm
got
rubbing a lot. It's the new tattoo.
yeah,
It's a lot of moisture, very itchy.
yeah. Let's see. Shannon says, that's quick. I better get reading it so I don't fall behind. I have like 20 books in a series to read. Yeah, and there's the 14 books of the 13 books of the Relic of Time Wars. And then you have the 4 of the Huntsman of Adamos prequel that goes before the series. There, if you don't want to read that one, that quartet, just a warning. In the
I feel like you'll get a little lost at the end.
well, there are spoilers though. There are spoilers.
There are.
There are spoilers in the Huntsman because the main character, the main female character Daisy, actually goes back in time to prevent the shadows from changing time. And she learns some things, and some things go sideways, and yeah. And there's a reason that the last book is called The Huntsman's Horror. And then that book actually, those 4 books actually start and end in the middle of the Shadow Hunt.
Yeah.
Because the first part of the Shadow Hunt is Daisy and the Etherians going back through time to stop the shadows from changing the events of the war that led to their defeat.
Yep.
So it's kind of a Terminator thing. It was kind of, they go back to change the past, and those who serve the light have to chase them. And then the second one of that is Daisy going all the way back to the Cataclysm War to stop the last 3 shadows that went back to the start of the Cataclysm War.
Yep.
And that's where the Huntsman Quartet, or the second, third, and fourth of the Huntsman Quartet happen.
Right.
But time's funny stuff, and writing time travel is hard because you have every event happens twice, but they happen from such completely different perspectives that it's really. And Sarah and I sat around and did this so much of talking about how this person would see this scene happening.
Yeah, and it was a lot of like jumping because you had to make sure you didn't leave any like holes in it, because if something happened and this character would have seen it, but then earlier on that event, or you write the event as it's seen in the past and then somebody from the future goes back to see it, you have to make sure you write that scene correctly, and they see everything they could have seen, or that they missed A, B, or C because they weren't present for that, and or they wouldn't know that, so you weren't like basically metagaming.
Yeah, it's and like when the shadows attack Karstien and Damien, you see the first time you see that scene in the series, you see it from the boy's perspective.
Yeah.
You see this from this perspective, and then 4 books later, in Ancient Ice Apocalypse, you see it from the time traveler's perspective, jumping back to try to save them, or at least save Damien from this event.
Yeah.
So it is very, very, it is a hard, I would not recommend writing time travel for most people, because like I said, we've got a 50,000 word document that is just the word build, the characters, and the timeline.
Or it's like you just have a document that's just full of events, and it's like, hey, so and so's going to be here and here, as well as here and here. Just oof, it's a lot. I will
Yeah.
say, I do want to show off the socks I got in Halifax because I think they're my favorite socks I've gotten yet, and it's pretty fitting for what we're talking about. They are dinosaur silhouettes with skeletons. I'm just saying, I've got the best socks by far.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're my
And
favorite socks.
and it's really interesting because the way we have this set up is Davin and Ezra, they grow up together. Ezra ends up living with Davin's family after his mother dies, and they go to college together. They're working on master's degree in paleontology, and um, they're going through. They get this internship at the Isle of the Noble, which is the world's oldest and most exclusive um, um, wildlife resort. And it's rumored that the company that owns it, Nemad Global, is actually trying to resurrect the dinosaurs using genetic mapping and stuff like this. And so they're super excited to go work on the Isle of the Noble. And yet things don't turn out like they think it will turn out.
Yeah, they get there.
And they meet Karstien, who has revived in modern times. They have no idea where Damien is. And the first time they meet, Karstien actually tries to kill them both because he did the
Karstien
same
tries to
thing.
kill them on multiple times, and then Davin. So Davin? Yeah, Davin manages to get back at him. Thought he killed him, but then Karstien
It's
comes back, and it's
Ezra thinks
Ezra
he
kills
killed
him.
him.
That's right. Ezra
And
kills him, and it's a whole
and
thing.
yeah, he can't, and that's when they figure out he can't die.
Yeah.
And then they end up having to hide out from a hurricane in Karstien's tomb due to circumstances. And that's where they accidentally touch the Relic of Time. And then they end up back when dinosaurs and people were basically living together like Dinotopia. They meet then Karstien, and he's riding around on a Tyrannosaurus like a horse.
Yep.
And so then they have to start searching for the Relic of Time so they can get back. And there's this whole thing about Clarke's third law and about magic versus technology, and technology sufficiently advanced appears as magic. And in the beginning, they're sure that they are on the technology side of Clarke's third law. But as the series progresses, they begin as the book progresses, they begin to realize that maybe they're the ones that are on the primitive side of Clarke's third law, because they say something to Karstien about it's not magic, it's technology, and Karstien's like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
And then they end up basically they end up breaking one of the prophecies, and they end up back home, but
And
it's
that's when
not their
they,
home. It's
yeah,
the
that's when they
future
end up in the corrupt future.
where Damien won the war because they didn't stay to help Karstien. Which leads us to the prophecy. So let me pull up share screen. Hold on, I'm having to jump around between screen shares. All right. So the prophecy, this is the prophecy about Ezra and Davin.
Yeah.
In the first hour, if war shall come, a few will overcome many. The hopeful will come from afar. They will aid the noble lord of the land. In the second hour, when the shadows of darkness rise again, two travelers will fall from a far land. Past, present, and future are the same there. If they leave too soon, they will return with courage, purpose, with perseverance, to aid the heart of those who serve the light. So this is the third prophecy that is touched on in this book. And no, Eva, this is all in one book. This is all. Eva's like, I'm getting lost. No, this is all one book. This is the first book. The first part of the book is in modern. The first third of the book is modern times. The second third of the book is Davin and Ezra in the distant past, and then like the last part of the book is Ezra and Davin getting back to the future, but
And
it's not
releasing.
their
Yeah, they realize
future.
how messed up it is.
And they're just like, we got to go back and fix this. We got to go back and fix this. And that's it shows the danger of tampering with time and with breaking the prophecies. And yeah, there are several situations where it's just like, you don't know if Davin and Ezra are going to survive in the past or in the future, because it's just like they are so out of their element. They're in a world where the Mizoni warriors, who are Karstien's most loyal, they're full warriors at 12 years old. They start learning the art of war when they're 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And it's it's like the book is a roller coaster, and then you get into the second book, and they basically, things happen, all kinds of things happen, because they have to help Karstien. They have to fulfill this prophecy. They have to fulfill this prophecy, or they don't have a home to go to. Their families are gone because Damien has killed everyone in the world almost. And it's one of those that, like the prophecy that runs through the whole thing. If they fail, everything is lost. So it's pretty intense running through the book, and having to thread these prophecies through the entire series. You tend to find, like with the time travel events that happen twice, from the future perspective, traveler perspective, and from the people moving forward in time and living through them, you find out things tend to echo. It tends to echo. So it's been a challenge to write them and keep them interesting and fresh from the perspective of without it being too head hoppy, because messing with time messes up everything.
Yeah.
Okay. We are down to our last 10 minutes. Does anyone else have any questions about the book?
Already? Oh, it didn't even feel like that long.
Yeah. Yep. Hello, Nia. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling better. Okay. All right. This is the
intro.
The blurb for the book. Can you read it or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
I can read it. Okay. So, before history was recorded, Karstien and Damien of Adamos were born to serve the light and protect all from the return of an ancient evil. But the prophecies warn, if a son of Adamos passes from the light into shadow, war will come. If they fail, all life, all light, all love will be devoured. In modern times, paleontology graduate students Davin, Jeong, and Ezra Ferrell are offered the internship of a lifetime with NEMAD Global's Cretaceous Research Division on Isle of the Noble. But it is a lie to kill Davin. Together, they can bring back the dinosaurs and save the world twice, if they survive. Chance and circumstances will lead them to meet Karstien in two eras, when his family's ancient relic of time pulls the best friends through time to the epoch when dinosaurs still roamed, and into the struggle between the semi-immortal brothers that spans time itself.
Yep. Pretty much.
Shiley needs love.
I've actually never seen Shiley, actually.
Yeah, she was born after you returned home last time.
Okay. I was like, yeah, because I came home in July. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Nia. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy. Glad you're feeling better. Yes. All right. Let's see. Anything you want to say about the series?
If I say too much, I will spoil something. So, because I know too much. I think I'm on book 5, and I just read underway.
Yeah.
And I will spill the beans. I'll spill too many beans.
Yeah. Yes, Shannon. So what happens with the Etherians is they have like redundant physiology, kind of like Klingons do, and if they are mortally wounded, their body releases a chemical that basically will cause their blood to turn into like a gel. And to stop them from bleeding, and to reduce their blood flow, their primary heart will stop beating, and they kind of fall into this like death-like coma while they heal. And because of the way they're aliens, and the way their stem cells work is and their oh goodness, I can't think of the term for their white blood cells that I used, but basically their body repairs itself like much faster than humans.
Yeah.
And so like there's a scene where Karstien gets shot and his blood basically gels to keep him from bleeding out, and he collapses into this death-like state, and then he revives. Then once their body repairs, they release another enzyme, and their blood slowly will start to liquefy again. Yeah. And so they're not a true immortal. It's not that they can't die. They do die. And there are situations in which they can die and just won't come back. And it just depends on how wounded they are and whether they are immediate, how wounded they are and how wounded they are if they get wounded again after they revive. And so Karstien, he hurts. Like when he wakes up, his nerve cells rebooting, his nerves endings rebooting and stuff. He ends up his whole body ends up in pain. And so the Etherians fight very, very hard.
Yep.
Because dying sucks, but reviving sucks more.
It's more
And
painful the second time.
yeah, all the times Daisy killed Damien.
Yeah. He was made of dust. He wasn't real. He's not real.
So, but yeah, it's so we did a lot of biology research on things that could heal themselves and regrow their cells and stuff, and like theoretical alien pathology and stuff.
Yeah. I actually did that for a couple of my papers. Where I just deep dived into certain animals that could just like regenerate, like geckos.
Yes.
Big example.
Yeah. Sarah did a lot of research for this. She did a lot of research for this.
Have fun with the sprints in
Yeah,
Discord.
thank you for coming, Shannon. I really appreciate it. But we did a lot of like research because we both agreed that if this is going to be science fiction fantasy, that we were going to have as much science in it as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be as almost possible as it could be. If we need a reason for certain things to do the thing they want to, we need to at least have a good reason for how it does it.
Yeah, we're not just going to say, poof, it does this. Like the Ethereans have the ability to manipulate energy.
Yeah.
And then you discover that magic is basically just frequencies of energy. And eventually in the series, they learn how to store and harness magical energy.
Yeah.
So that they can actually like give it like use it as power cells for weapons and armor for humans who don't have magic.
Yeah.
And that's where the Magipunk tech starts coming in the fifth book. In the fifth book is when Daisy starts building the technology. Yeah. But so much research. So much research.
A lot. It was a lot of research.
Yes. Okay. All right.
She's just becoming a ball.
She does that. She does that.
Feline overlords.
Yes. All hail the feline overlords. All right. Yes. Thank you, CB. This is Shiley. I have a timer that features just Shiley sleeping in my lap on my channel. Don't roll off.
She's
Don't
gonna
roll
fall.
off.
She's gonna fall off. I bet you she's gonna fall. She was definitely gonna fall off right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's, believe it or not, a few months ago she was almost completely feral. So
is she one of the barn kitties?
She was the barn kitty that's mother refused to feed her, and the others kept attacking her, and so I had to bring her in, and she had to be on medicine for a month, and then I had to start like getting food in her and taming her down so she wasn't like biting and scratching everyone constantly and growling, and so
feral.
Yeah, she was practically feral. Okay. All right.
Any last minute questions?
Any last minute questions? Yeah. Sorry. That just popped up. Did not mean for that to pop up. I did not mean to tap that.
Where's this book gonna be published? Where can I go on my computer and find the links?
Oh, thank you, dear. You can find this on my Amazon page. The links are below. I also still have the rough drafts available on. I will be restoring those on my Inkitt page now that I have removed the series from Vela. So if can't afford Amazon or don't want to like throw money at the Overlord A, you can
Jeffrey Bezos.
go to my Coffee page and make a donation, and I will send you the EPUB or PDF version of the book. And you can also find it on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. And the books will be coming out every 10 to 12 weeks for basically the next 2.5 years. So,
Because there's enough of them. There's enough of them.
Yeah, there is enough, and they're already written, and the first 10 are actually they've already been through editing and beta. I just need to finish doing the work on them to get the formatting done. I don't like formatting. I don't like formatting at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I basically, Sarah, after my stroke, when I couldn't use language and I didn't stop laughing at the kidding.
Bonk! Straight on the
microphone. When I couldn't use language and I couldn't even walk to the bathroom by myself, Sarah and her sisters really, really helped me. And Sarah really helped me writing books and stuff, really helped me recover my ability to use language. And I wouldn't be where I am today without her help. If I hadn't have had, Jenny picked up the cooking, Ashley picked up the house cleaning, and Mara, she picked up the farm work, and then she worked really hard to help me recover my ability to communicate.
It's important. Communicating is important, and having good language skills is also very important.
Yeah. Okay. Show everyone your tattoo really quick before we hop on.
So we're going to start from this side and go all the way around. So we got cute little bee right there. Goes all the way around to my 2 petunias. I need to set my coffee cup down. It's got tea in it now, but sure, we'll do that. So there's my petunias, and then there's my first bee I got, which you can tell the difference. But yeah, that's basically the whole tattoo.
Yep. She got bees to go with the beehives.
Yep. I think that's my favorite bee because its face is not shaded in at all, and it just looks a little goofy, and I love it.
Yeah, it looks like a Cassandra bee.
Yeah, that's Cassandra. Actually, this one's Vermilion because...
Is that Vermilion?
Can I swear?
No.
One word?
No.
It starts with a B. It starts with a B. It's one word. Yeah, this one hurt like a bitch. This one hurt so badly. So this one is Vermilion. This one's Cassandra. And then Andromeda, rest in peace. This was my first one.
Sadly, we lost the Andromeda hive. We don't know what happened to her. She just vanished. We came out and...
Vermilion's fault. I guarantee you. It was Vermilion's fault.
Vermilion had killed Andromeda's queen. We don't know why. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream today. And thank you to Mara, my middle, who has really helped me on this whole journey and writing, and just helped on so many different aspects of this book. She would have story ideas and sub-character ideas, and it really is going to be a very interesting ride because we deal with a lot of different things. The first 2 books are about overcoming grief and realizing who you really are as a person.
The first few books are easy to get.
Your potential. The third book is about Dr. Daisy Kane, how she became the scientist that she was and then turned into a terrorist. The fourth book is about going back to save our Earth equivalent planet from an ancient ice apocalypse. And that came from Sarah discovering a thing called Snowball Earth, which was a thing that happened like, was it 50 million years ago when the Earth basically froze into like almost froze solid?
Yeah, basically it's based on because they called the Ice Age, or God, that was a while ago.
This was, yeah,
It was based around it was an idea based around the Ice Age, because originally they just thought that was like the northern half, and then they realized, oh, it was the entire planet going through that.
And the fifth book is about the survivors resettling, the survivors of the remnant of Etheria that escaped to Terra Earth during the Cataclysm War, going back to Etheria and trying to resettle their homeworld and just reestablish their people. The sixth book is Daisy returns to Terra Earth from Etheria and reunites with Davin and Ezra, and then they discover that the deity that is behind the shadows and all of their evil is coming for Terra Earth, is coming to harvest Terra Earth for the biomass, because that's why it's called the Devourer. It basically just it's like a trapdoor spider, and it basically pops out from the interspace between the dimensions and feeds on the planets of the overworld. And then that leads into the last the preparations for the war are 2 more books, and then the war itself is actually 3 different books.
Yep.
And then you hit the Shadow Hunt, where the Devourer has been defeated, but some of his followers, entities, escaped, and so then now they have to hunt these things down and stop them from changing the past.
Yeah.
So the whole series is a roller coaster, and it deals with a lot of things. It deals with grief. It deals with moving to new places, with discovering who you are as a person, with, taking ownership of your abilities. We have a magical drug addiction.
I remember that one.
The orb. We have slavery issues. We have political manipulation and media manipulation issues. Without giving too much away, there's really a whole just range of just different things that the book covers, that it's kind of a YA style of write, but some of the issues that are dealt with are a little, I wouldn't want small children, like 10 and 12-year-olds reading this. So I won't class it as YA, even though Amazon keeps pushing it that way.
I mean, I don't know. As a teen who was going through and editing it, that was pretty. It wasn't like extreme. It was like reasonable.
Yeah. But so, yes, please pick up a copy of the book. If you don't want to buy it from Amazon, you can always make a donation on my Ko-fi page, and I will contact you and send you a copy to read. I know that is a thing now. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming to our book launch, and, happy that Mara was able to be here with me and share this, because
my one day off actually
her one day off, and she's done almost as much work on the series as I have.
I wish I could do more.
I
If it
know.
wasn't for where I work, I would absolutely be doing more.
Yeah. But you got it started, so
I got started, I got it pushed, and then I left. But I'm still trying to push.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and I hope everybody has a blessed and lovely day.